Accelerate to great. Accelerate to great. Now, I want us to look at that word for just a moment. Remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker, right? Think about that word accelerate. If I were to ask you right now, what does it mean to accelerate or acceleration? What would you tell me? I'll pause for just a moment. Remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker. Now, when you typically ask somebody what does it mean to accelerate, they'll say like, oh, it means to go fast or to speed up, right? If we were to really look at the word and what it truly means, to accelerate or acceleration is the rate at which velocity changes. Once again, acceleration is the rate at which velocity changes. So what is velocity? I mentioned before, velocity is simply speed and direction. So let's say, you got that brand new Bugatti, right? And you're driving 250 miles per hour. That's your speed. But if I say I'm driving 250 miles per hour northwest, that's velocity. What is the difference? Velocity is simply speed and direction. That's all. So once again, velocity, speed, and direction. And when we look at speed, speed deals with simply how much distance do we cover in a given amount of time. Another question, if I want to ask who wants to be successful or who wants to reach their goals, I'm pretty sure everybody gives me the thumbs up or raises their hands or say, me, I want to be great. No one for the most part has lowered expectations, but I just want to touch on accelerate to great in the full context. In order for us to be great at whatever we want to accomplish, right? Sometimes we think it's about speed. We're trying to get there and not get it. We want to get it done. We want to execute. We want to reach our goals. But sometimes we need to truly accelerate to great. Today marks day number 380. I'm on a fitness journey. Every single day I run 1 mile. That's crazy, right? That's not a long distance, but guess what? I run that 1 mile consistently, okay? Talking about accelerate to great. Now, in the past, I've ran, a few miles a day. So 1 mile a day isn't a big challenge. The challenge comes in is doing it on a regular basis. So by me doing it now, 388 days straight, I'm down about 54 pounds. I haven't weighed in recently, but about 54 pounds, right? When I was a couple days in, somebody else said they wanted to join me. It's all love. It's all love, brother. So I'm not going to say your name, but he wanted to join in. And I said, share your miles with me. The first day or so, he did like 2.5 miles. Another day, maybe roughly the same. And I stopped him. I said, hey, do 1 mile, accelerate to great. And what happened after a couple days, I stopped receiving his miles. And when he got back to me, he shared some legit reasons as to why he couldn't continue, or why he, took a break or whatever. However, I wanted him simply to stick to 1 mile because we're going to accelerate to great. So I'm sharing this to say, while we accelerate to great in that full context, scientifically, I accelerate if I change my speed or my direction. Because remember, to accelerate, acceleration is the rate at which velocity changes. So scientifically, which could apply to real life, right? If I change my speed or my direction, I'm accelerating. So how about this? In the past, I used to run between 3 to 5 miles a day, right? I had to pull back and stick to 1 mile a day. So I could say, hey, I'm cutting back on my speed, but I'm still accelerating. I'm still moving to my goal. Think about the tortoise and the hare, right? The hare took off running in the race and stopped and took a break. Then the tortoise just kept going nice and slow, right? And then the hare would see him catching up, take off again, boom, and stop, And the tortoise just kept going. And we know that at the end of the story, by the time the rabbit got up from his 3rd, 4th, or 5th nap and looked up, he saw the tortoise crossing that finish line, And since we have some amazing finish lines we want to cross, there's nothing wrong with moving like the tortoise. Or sometimes we have to change the direction that we're moving in order to reach our destination. So once again, I say accelerate to great. Remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker, right? There's this tree known as the Great Basin bristlecone pine. It's known as Methuselah. This tree is 4,853 years old. How did they determine the date? They could get a core sample. If you're not familiar with trees, they have a ring. If you were to slice it across, they didn't do that to Methuselah, right? But if they were to slice it across, you're gonna see these rings. So a tree, every single year, it gets a ring or another layer of bark. So they took something maybe the size of a pencil, shaped like almost like a thick needle, and they slid it into the tree. They took out a core sample and they could count the rings. So this tree has been dated at almost 5,000 years old, but 4,853 years. A tree, right? How is it that it's able to see this much success? How is it that it's able to live this long? Okay, it understands it has to accelerate to great. Not only that, just to take it a little bit deeper, opposition, the things that we don't like, the things that I hate, opposition is what allowed this tree to live so long. You know, it has a slow growth rate. It lives in harsh conditions, strong winds, very cold temperature, and that produces a very dense wood because when things move cold, and when things get cold, its particles move slow. And it gets dense because its particles is coming closer together because it's cold. That's real life. You know, that's science. So this tree has been around. They said it was established, you know, prior to the Egyptians building the pyramids because of its opposition, because of that strong wind, because of that cold, harsh temperature. Because of that strong wind, it creates that dense, stronger wood. And because of that, you know, that tree understands what it takes to accelerate to great. Man, y'all have an amazing day. Let's accelerate to great, okay? And we accelerate by changing our speed and direction. Sometimes we gotta slow down, but sometimes don't front. We do gotta speed up. Or sometimes we need to pivot and make a change, but we still have the same destination in mind. So with this brand new day, let's accelerate to great. And I look forward to seeing what we accomplish. Remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker.